MUFC Realist TV. I'm a member of this channel, but you should subscribe or in this show, we're gonna look a cow in the ass. Let's go.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Welkom. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Okay, this is Ten Hag's home, and this is how we're going to achieve success. What he once said, we're going to look a cow in the ass. And, you know, ironically speaking, this is what we're going to do today, because some people have identified a problem. You know, we have a solution. Or actually, I don't have a solution. I think it's my friend, Jarvis. Where is he? I don't know. I'm actually not supposed to be here, but, you know, since Jarvis didn't rock up as usual, I have to deduct Snickers, and I have to sort of stand here talking to myself, and, you know, but I think somebody's knocking at the door. Do I dare to let him in? How are you doing? Did you just finish watching the Arsenal games? Oh, cheaters, what a penalty. That was not a penalty. But let us let in Jarvis, the expert here, the expert pundit. Jarvis, come in. Good evening, Jarvis. How are you? You are on mute.
Hello, everybody. How are we all doing this lovely Monday night?
What a day.
Mick, how are you?
What
you
a
look
day.
a little bit tired. Have you been working?
Tired. Yes, I've been up since 6 a.m. this morning. I've been doing one stream, one video, and I had this talk about this amazing Greenwood stuff, and it's been one crazy day at the office today. So just you know, thanks to these babies, my rocket fuel. Oh yeah, we have a midnight vibe. So yeah, all good in the hood. What a crazy day, to be honest. To be crazy day. It's been an emotional roller coaster ride amongst the fan base, and, you know, people not using the logic hats on. And I don't know. Still, I had my say over a small short video. I'm not gonna make a meal out of it. We seen it, we heard it. Maybe we should talk about it. If not, just move on. That's it. Chapter closed.
Yeah, the most exciting thing when it comes to this is Greenwood getting sold, or is he getting loaned out?
Well, okay. You see, I look things at factual thing, and I can read through the lines, and it does not really say, because both statements, in my opinion of what I'm reading, is that they didn't find any compelling evidence to, and according to employment law, to terminate his contract. The factual evidence was snippets of voice recording that is far more longer what was released in the media, XYZ. He, on the other hand, released a statement because he cares about the club and the, you know, the brand, the reputation. So it was an amicable decision, not because of his guilty, that he was found not guilty, but I think they had an agreement to say, look, you know, there's too much pressure from a minority of group. We cannot handle this PR pressure. We got to look at the brand and the Manchester United club first and foremost. I think they didn't terminate his contract because there's no grounds for dismissal. So what I think they will do is, yeah, he's a family man. He's a father. They're probably going to send him away outside England to play football for a year or two until the dust settles. But he's still an asset of Manchester United. You know, far more one of the best strikers we've seen, two-footed striker, like a finisher. I don't think they want to get rid of him, but I think it's too toxic to get him back into the team. I think the initial plan, what was leaked out from the Athletic, was to let him back into the team, but I think it was a filler. At the end of the day, I would think it was a filler. It was kind of a little bit backlash because there's a minority group thinks that he's guilty. And I just find it ironical because, you know, in today's modern society, like, you know, the public cries you are guilty, then you're guilty. But even if you're found not guilty in the court of law, and if you've done, you know, if the company has done the thorough investigation and found you're not guilty, I just find it very, very bizarre, to be honest. So me coming from a HR world, I didn't find this funny at all, to be honest. Like, you know,
No.
At the end of the day, like, you know, people are so quick to judge, even if they found that there's no compelling evidence. So I know if you want to think like that, that's your opinion. But I just, I'm a person that like to look at the law, the facts, and everything else around it. And I always said until this is investigated and finalized, I will have my opinion. I have my say, and this is kind of my say on it because I didn't find any factual evidence of proven guilt. So therefore, I just go like, okay, that's probably the best decision for the club. Amicable, like to silent the crowd and send him off to play football somewhere else. But I don't think they're going to sell him, right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts and feelings?
Time will show, but the statement that came out today, it was for me, it was really unconclusive. It was like an anticlimax. I was hoping for some clarity. We didn't get anything, to be fair. The only thing that I got from it was they found out from the internal investigation that he didn't do the things he was charged for.
Exactly.
That was Richard Arnold. So but Greenwood, he gave an apology. What for? I don't understand. So everything from me, it's very
What for? I think because
inconclusive. For hurting the club or for doing something wrong,
that's
or
it.
Yeah, but if he was falsely accused, why bother giving an apology? I don't get it. Everything is so inconclusive.
I think first and foremost, the apologies was more towards the fan base, to apologies for dragging the through the mud. Guy came out from, he played for United ever since he was a child, 7 years of age. So he's a Mancunian through and through. So he understands the sympathy what the fan base is going through. But why is he apologizing? Like, was he framed by his missus? Was some quarter argument? I don't know. There's so much inconclusive. But the fact is that they left the door open. They didn't shut the door, and that's what leads me to believe that, hey, they couldn't fire him on the grounds because there was no evidence, or there was no grounds to dismiss his employee contract. So even they said they're going to help him, what doesn't mean they're going to do a transfer. No, I think it's going to go to loan move to Italy, and that's why I said in my short video, best for the club and Mason, just to let this dust settle, let it. It's been too much toxic environment, so much divide and conquer, split in the middle. Now that I've seen what I've seen, I'm still standing my ground that I say whatever is best for the club, that's what my decision is. And I think this was the best decision. I don't think it's fair because I'm all for justice. Justice for the victim, justice for the accuser. But in this case, I don't know if there was a victim, and who is the victim right now. You can argue that Mason Mount was also, no, not Mason Greenwood was also a victim for, early attack and due to social media, the people are so quickly to, judge and cast the first stone, right? And even if he didn't do anything, and there was evidence was kind of tempered with, even in the statement was saying that there was a longer snippets of the version. What you heard in the public was just leaked out to make it worse, and pictures looked like also I don't know, smeared out. That didn't look authentic to my opinion. But anyway, now it's over. I feel I can actually speak without even, I'm condemning all the violence, all domestic violence. I'm against it, but I hold my peace until I have everything in front of me. And it is a victory for both sides. I think it's the best solution for both sides. Unfortunately, he's a great footballer. That's what I always saw. As a person, I don't know the person. I don't know what these kids are doing, but congratulations for parenthood. Congratulations for maturity. And people always deserve second chances, and this is a second chance, give him. But I don't think the board handled this well. I mean, this could have been concluded a long time ago. This been dragging on and deliberately hurting the fan base. And I can see that a lot of people are sort of calling from the board's head, Richard Arnold and, 1958 is coming out for sit-down protest. So I'm all for that, to be honest. This could be handled in a much smoother version. But anyway, this closed shop, it feels like a relief that we can move on, talk about something else. I had my say about this. I'm not going to talk about it more, Jarvis. If you want to say something more about it, or
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little bit tired of all the Greenwood discussions. You know, the only thing I want to say is for all the pundits and everybody on YouTube,
Oh yes,
everybody on social media, everybody
I'm
who
ashamed.
condemned Mason Greenwood with partial evidence after a thorough investigation for 18 months internal. The Richard Arnold says that they couldn't find anything and he didn't do the things he was accused for.
Yeah.
So for me, it tells me that you always should sit on the fence until you have all the evidence, because you should be very careful condemning people when you just have snippets of the whole truth, because it's hard to see the truth when you only have small snippets. And this is what we got. We only have a little bit. We had the video tape, we had the pictures, no, the audio tape and the pictures, but there was a longer story. There was more to tell. So for everybody who condemned him without knowing the evidence, I think they should think about themselves and how they react, because we as pundits and people who are influencers, we have a responsibility.
We have a moral obligation.
Yeah,
we have a moral, and I am absolutely fucking disgusted to my teeth what I've seen today, and I cannot hold it back. Like, you know, I'm not going to call out the channels and the names, but fucking sit down, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you have a point there, Jarvis, and the thing is that you know, we have been sitting here keeping it cool and composed, giving a voice of reasoning, not even passing a judgment. You should not judge until you have everything crystal clear. You know, don't take sides, don't burn bridges. But some people have shown the true faces, and I don't like that. And that's the thing what I'm getting upset about. It's not about the Greenwood situation. It's basically how society nowadays are working. You know, that's the thing what pisses me off, that, you know, you can be pointed a finger that you're a rapist, you're a murderer, and you can still be like, you know, guilty and proven unguilty. But still, in the public's perception with the social media, people are so quick to judge. And that is what I hate. That is what I hate, because it's not real. Right. And this is what pisses me off. It's not the case in general. It's how can you sit there and you know, you have millions of followers and you are influencing and peddling in a way that you're taking your personal opinion to say. Even I was watching one person today that I respected, I totally lost respect for today. You know, even was sitting there reading up everything, the statements and everything, and yeah, it seems that he's not guilty, but I believe he's guilty. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, people are entitled to their opinion, but you know, if you work as an influencer, you gotta be careful what you say. So
again, people, for watching, like, it's not that I'm pissed off with it. I'm tired of how people are not using common sense. That's the thing, right? I'm tired of these movements and minority influences that are making this amplified more than it is. Without, I've been quite consistent in my story to say, like, we should never judge until you know the factual evidence, right? And now when everything is out, I'm just letting it out, and I'm angry with the system, not angry with the overall process. I'm angry that people are stopped using the common sense and not, you know why? Just wake up and smell the coffee, and people are backtracking now. Oh, I'm so sorry for saying this. Like, you know, well, hang on. It's a little bit too late, to be honest, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a little bit. Let's say hello to the VAR room. And,
yeah, we have a new member. Muhammad Ali became just a new member. Sorry, guys. I was trying to stay away from this, but you triggered me now, Jarvis. I was just like I'm showing my true teeth now, because you never see me angry, but I was triggered today, to be honest. Not because of the situation. It's just because the way it's been handled. That's it, you know. I don't like injustice at all, like, you know. Listen, I think we have somebody in the background here. Should we let him in?
Oh, yeah.
We have yeah, welcome, Uncle Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey,
big up.
Jimmy. How you doing?
Big up. You're all right, man. You're all right. I've just caught the last few minutes of that, you know. Yeah, man.
Yeah. How are you feeling regarding the situation?
You know, this is a very it's a very sensitive situation, isn't it? You have to approach it as such as well. And I think the problem is these situations would be sensitive anyway. But what makes it worse is the fact that it's Manchester United, the biggest football club in the world. So
that's it. It's been amplified.
When people are commenting as if we're talking about Joe Bloggs down the road, who's just a normal person. We're not. We're talking about a young footballer who's come to the club at age 7. Has grown up at the club. He's been raised by the club for the most part, because Greenwood in his early years, actually, he was one of the players that stayed that lived in the accommodations that the club provide for a very long time. So this kid was raised by the club. Now, the club's decision makes perfect sense from a football club perspective, the size of Manchester United. It makes sense for them to decide that they're going to part ways with him. But I think the anger, both sides, you know, because there's one camp that's angry because the club should have just made the decision to start with and say, look, this ain't going to work. You know, we need to move you on, and had that conversation a lot earlier on. It seems like they were maybe indicating one thing to him, and then they've kind of gone and done a whole different thing. So I think that there is anger on both sides. People that wanted him to stay, people that wanted him to go. I don't think either parties are wrong, because I think if you look at, even if you're talking about morality, and this might trigger some people, but I just, you know, I'm playing devil's
Feel free to
advocate
speak.
here.
Yeah,
There's the people that want him to stay. Of course, there's people that want him to stay just for footballing reasons, but there's also another group of people that wanted him to stay because they believe in rehabilitating young people and getting them back to where they need to be as men, because he's still a boy. He's not a man yet. So, you know, there's an element of that for some people that want him to stay. But obviously, other people just wanted him to stay because he's a good footballer, and those people are just only purely thinking about football. So again, you can't say you're wrong for thinking that, because everyone is entitled to their opinion. But one thing I will say is the other side, people that wanted him to leave, again, everyone has justified reasons within themselves that they think this is the reason why I don't want this person to play for Manchester United. I don't think anyone is wrong in this matter. I think we all have different opinions, and we are never going to agree on it. And unfortunately, everyone should just accept that everyone's opinion is probably going to be different. So you have your opinion and you can express it. What I hate is when we try to create a platform or a space where people can have an open, honest dialogue. It turns into, you are a rapist sympathizer.
Yeah, exactly. No,
and that's when it becomes abusive, and it becomes all these other things. I just wish people were happy to have a grown-up conversation about life and about football and how football works in the background. And I think that's where people are failing, is as soon as someone says something I don't agree with, I'm calling them a rapist sympathizer or this, you know, it's just, you know, it's not the best way to go about it. It's about having a dialogue. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared to do that. I think we need to leave it for a long time, and then maybe we can revisit it and people can express their opinions after it has died down a bit.
Let dogs lie. You touched a very good subject there, and you know, and that has to do with morality. I mean, I think that part of this amplified reason is also being, like, you know, inflated by, you know, recent event of Me Too's and all that stuff, like, you know, and it's been implemented that, you know, domestic violence is not okay, and all of a sudden this came out, and that kind of amplified the overall morality reason. And just because it happened to be one of our celebrity football players became even worse. And I get that, you know, I get that, because say people that are against it, I'm against it, but still keep cool and composed, and, you know, wait for the factual evidence. And what upsets me from the very first beginning is that people are so quick to judge without even having an evidence. And unfortunately, this is the modern society that we live today in social media. Like, people are so quick, and Twitter and everywhere else, to flip-flop. And this is our fan base as well. One day you love Mason Greenwood, one day you hate Mason Greenwood, the other day you love Rashford, the next day you call him Trashford. And this is the Manchester United that's been created, divide and conquer, instead of just being, you know, support the team for fuck's sake, and no matter what, like, you know. Now you have another allegation waiting with this Anthony Dos Santos, and you're going to see the same shit happening, right?
Yeah.
And on top of everything, like, you know, you had the Takeover causing a lot of nervous breakdowns and
I wish people would. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I do wish, because you've touched on something now. I do wish people would stay consistent with these matters, because we've seen footballers have situations that they've come back from and they've been allowed to carry on with their careers and they've played football just because they were these great players. I don't want to start going into names and stuff, but you can think of some names that I'm referring to, and there seems to be an inconsistency from people. Now, I'm always asking people to be consistent in their opinions. Now, it's one thing to say, Rashford's good this game and Rashford's trash the next game, because it might just be the way you.
That's football, yeah.
That's football. It's fine. But when you're having a conversation about morals and you're having a conversation about what's right, what's wrong, what you think should be done, what consequences should be when people conduct themselves in a certain way in life, you have to try and be consistent, because if your moral compass is genuine, it doesn't move. Your moral compass will stay the same. Your moral compass is not dynamic. It's a fixed thing that you've got. It's a fixed thing that you've got based on how you grew up, the things that you believe in, your principles. These are things that form your moral compass. Your moral compass doesn't move. It's not dynamic, right? You can change your opinion about a footballer's ability or whatever, but when it comes to morality, your moral compass is supposed to be fixed. So you can't be one thing 1 minute and then you're not something else the next minute, because that makes no sense, because then you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so that consistency is lacking in all of these conversations. It's that
no, but since when did they mix in politics and organizations into football, right? What pisses me off, even going back to the sales takeover, and you had organizations against human rights and sports washing and rainbow movements, and everything was attached. And I think everything was amplified even with this Greenwood case, it's creating a worse situation than it actually is. So the reason why I'm here is for footballer reason and for Manchester United, because that's my family. For me, morality is always to support the team. I'm not going to flip on the manager because 2 bad results. I can see longer than my nose is here. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I think that for the past 5 years, I've seen the society development that people don't have time anymore. They don't have patience anymore. They don't even think anymore, because everything has been programmed through media and information. And this is what upsets me, and that's why I'm angry, not because of Greenwood cases, because everything else that is wrong in society nowadays. You're not allowed to express your freedom of thought anymore. You're not allowed to have a creativity of thinking. You should just be, listen to what we say, and that's it. And if you go against it, if you have your own thoughts about it, then you're being called out to be an idiot or delusional, or you know what I mean. And that is unfortunately social media today. And I know that many young women and men out there feel discriminated in certain ways, that you cannot speak your mind anymore. And this topic
is dangerous. It's actually a very dangerous precedent to set. When you teach young people that they have to always conform to what the popular opinion is, you might as well just take them out of school and let them roam the streets, because if young people can't have objective, honest conversation, this is one thing that social media has taken away from the world, and that's why kids now are growing up with a slightly different mindset to how some of us grew up. Because when you take away the young people's ability to have an honest, objective conversation and even be offended at times, because you don't learn unless you have difficult conversations. So learning is a very difficult process. If you look at, when you're in education in school, especially younger years, the toughest times that I learned were the subjects that I hated, because they were really hard for me to, I used to hate history, for example, because my memory's always been terrible. So I used to hate history, but my teachers would teach me how to remember. And I would, though in those difficult times is when I learned the most, because I improved myself by going through the difficult things. So having difficult conversations with teachers, it's the same with young people, teenagers, 20 people in their 20s. I just feel they're losing the ability to have honest, objective conversations where you might even get offended, but it's worth it because you learn something.
I feel just sad because part of my this platform is Realist TV, is to be real and speak your opinion, right? And so many times people have been trying to shut me up and, you know, shut up and what are you talking about? Like, nobody's going to shut me up because I speak my mind and I'll always be true to myself, right? But there's certain ways you know, with this situation where it was a little bit of taboo, you were not allowed to mention it, right? It was kind of, if you did, you were slated, right? And therefore was the best thing to keep in sort of an objective opinion, just keep quiet. And as what we always said on this channel, just be cool and composed and wait till the factual evidence comes out. And then I voice my opinion. So this is my opinion. I think it's the best for both the young player, his family, and the club. Go and play football somewhere else. Let the dust settle. You know, if you do well, just come back to play for us because you have done nothing wrong according to the court of law and according to the HR investigation and the club. And that's my standing.
Can I just say one thing before we move on? I see people, the debate is getting heated in the comments.
In the comments.
Again,
so everybody should relax, and we are just talking about the subject. We don't take a side. We're just talking about the facts and about our thoughts about it. And you should respect each other's opinion. You know, it's okay to have different opinions, and don't kill each other in the chat.
No, absolutely not. I mean, what I'm saying is my opinion, but my opinion is based on logic. That's it. My opinion is based on what I've seen from two sides of the story, and what I drawn to conclusion. It's my way of seeing the world, right? And I can connect the dots on different things, but that is how I see it. Doesn't mean that I support it. What I said here was I support that this is the best decision for the club, because at the end of the day, I'm a club man. That's just why I'm here for this channel.
I think generally, I think what I've seen across the board is a lot of people do agree that this was the best decision for the club to make. And I think, do you know what? If people can't have a deeper conversation, let's just agree that this was the best decision for our football club, because we are only associated with Manchester United because we're Manchester United fans. And if we can agree one thing is that the club made the best decision for the club at the moment, let's leave it at that. If people are not prepared to have any deeper conversations without, you know, calling each other names and stuff, like we're in level.
No need to call each other's names because,
you know, it's just about just let's just say,
all right, let's just park this freaking bus and move on. The next move is Glazers fucking out. That's the next target we should focus on. The Glazers out movement. That is next. We close this shop. Now it's Glazers out. Now I'm fired up. And nobody should be nasty to each other in the VAR room. This is not what you are about. You know better in the VAR room. So let's start with shouting out everyone in the VAR room, because now I'm upset. Fad is in the house. Jarvis Cocker is in the house. Carlos is in the house. 𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅 is in the house. And Mick is angry. The first time you see me angry. Let's see. Carlos, if I don't get Amr about something like him, we are fucked, boys, girls. I love my club. Listen, we've spoken about Amrabat, and don't fall for whatever these medias are selling. Even there was one channel doing a clickbait thumbnail, and only after to be outed by Fabrizio Romano to say the opposite. So yeah, you know, sit down. I'm not having it anymore with this clickbaity shit, to be honest, right? You know, maybe I should just remove myself and you continue.
No, please stay. Okay, he removed himself for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I think we'll let him have two.
We can do this, Jimmy. I have one here from I have a message from Barman. I think that was a good one. He said, Mick and Jarvis, I'm grateful to your objectivity. One of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, Carl Rogers.
I saw that.
Yes. People judge instead of understanding.
I know that saying as well. I know that one. I'm a keen reader of philosophy. I like my philosophers. I've got a few favorite ones.
But
it's true. It's just, you know, objectivity is not. It's not always pleasant, because obviously people will have, you know, people have different opinions. But if you're being objective, you have to be prepared to be offended, and that's the most important thing. You have to be prepared to completely disagree with the other person. That's the only way that objectivity works. It works if you are stating your points, but you're also prepared to listen to the other person's points. That's what objectivity is.
Yeah,
and I think that's quite difficult for people. What have you heard about Amrabat then? Have you heard anything?
I'm just gonna take this super chat first from Jeff Steele, Australian Aussie dollars.
Big up, Jeff Steele. Big up.
Nobody knows facts yet. Condemned. Ridiculous. Yeah, that's true. You're talking about one important point, because we don't know all the facts, so we should be careful and not condemn anyone before we know the facts.
Sorry, I have to take a breath. Time out.
No, it's fine. You need to take your time. If you're feeling like
big up Jeff Steele. Nobody knows the facts. Condemned. I absolutely believe it, and that is ridiculous. And this is what I'm all about. It's nothing about the case itself. It's just about where humanity is going at the moment, and where the development of human beings and human minds and logic and reasoning. And that's what's upsetting me. I don't like the way we are.
And you know what? Just before we move on to the links to Amrabat and all those other topics, listen. You know. Another thing I've noticed is people will glorify, and I'm talking, maybe I'm only speaking for, let's say, maybe mostly here in the UK, and maybe America as well to a certain extent. People will glorify the most horrific violence in the name of whether it's music or gangs or whatever the case might be, and those people can, the people wear shirts or free such and such, free that person. It's like, do you know what that person did that you're saying freedom? They killed 5 people. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean free? So again, it's that consistency that I'm saying. If your moral compass stands somewhere, don't just do it for one situation. You have to have that moral compass across the board. If you want only the right things to be done at all times, and make sure that's what you stand on. Stand on that, and it's fine. But stand on it on all counts. Don't stand on it for one thing and then not for the other because it suits you. Like, you can't just shift morality like that. It doesn't work like that.
The reason why I took myself off, because I don't like to see my community fight with each other, because you guys are my family, you're my therapy, I love you guys, everything, so if you see my angry face, I'd rather remove myself, because you never see me angry, upset. But it's not by you that I'm upset about. Just to clarify, I think I made myself clear why I'm upset. I even have tears in my eyes the way the world is developing, and I don't like it.
Neil says free Manchester United.
Free Manchester United. That's it. Glazes out.
Free Manchester United. Big up Neil, man. Big up.
Jonathan is member of 2 months, and we just have a new member as well. Big up, Jonathan. Ew. And congratulations to your new apartment. By the way, just continue, guys. Let's continue with the show. Kenny TV fan, Arsenal 1-0. Yeah, I saw that, and that was not a penalty, according to my opinion. I mean, big up for Crystal Palace. They were resolute. But I don't know, Jimmy, did you watch the game?
Did it finish 1-0? Was it 1-0?
Yeah, it did. The thing is, like, they get a red card by Tamiaso, like 2 yellow cards. And the thing is, all of a sudden, Crystal Palace, they're not used to playing possession ball, right? What? They didn't know what to do all of a sudden. Like, hang on a second, what should we do here? So I felt really sorry, because I really wanted Palace to win. I think they played really good football. Anyway, what's going on in the VA room? Carlos is here, Simon Harry, John Johnson, and we have ML also going to miss Mason. What you are saying, it's not about missing, it's just about it's the way it is, like, and Jamie Wayne, I'm going to miss Greenwood players come at this club. Yeah, he was absolutely a baller, like one of the best, came out from academy, is what you said, Jimmy. He knows what Manchester is all about, He came from a poor family as well. That's the thing. So let's just park this conversation. Big up to RJ as well, that's in the house. Good evening, Neil Driscoll. Simon Heron is also here. Football Power Hour, where are you, my brother? So send me the link. Pappi, you want to come in? Okay, I can send you the link. Hang on a second.
Yo, just gonna plug my laptop in. It's gonna die in a minute. 1 sec.
Yep.
All right, now
no problem.
Keep going. I'm just gonna send the invitation to Pappi. Power Hour.
Yeah, we have a super chat from Jeff Steele, $2 Aussie. Aussie. Please
oi.
ST Glazers out. No.
Yeah, that's got to be the next target right now. I mean,
Mhm.
1958 came up with a brilliant statement: have a sit down against. I'm all for that because it's been a fucking clown show. Now I'm swearing too, and I'm just fed up with all this situation, right? Matthias is in the house as well, saying whatever he said, whatever he did, he didn't mean it. We just want Mason back for good. I want you back. I want you back. I want you back for good. Whatever you say.
Take that.
Yeah, take that. Take that. Yes. How did you know?
Whatever you did, I didn't
Didn't
mean it.
mean it. I just want you back.
for good.
Want you back. Now we're getting in the house here, guys. We're sending to Miasa. Yeah, hang on. Guys, we have a Edward Reed. Surely they're gonna replace Greenwood with another striker. The thing is, right? Depending on the situation, if they're sending the person out alone, that's wage bill off the wages. I mean, if he's going to Roma or Italy, probably it's the best thing to do, right? I don't think they're going to sell this asset. It was nothing in this statement to be saying, right? But I'm sure there are a lot of people with the moral compass that's just against this, violence, domestic violence, like myself, is now looking at it and looking at the factual statements and evidence and thinking, well, hang on a second. We have a super chat coming in as well from Jonathan Liljenberg. He says, where is that super chat gone? I'm hoping we get the Gravenberg. It could be amazing. Would be a loan or what? Qatar in 100%. Thank you so much, Jonathan Liljenberg. I know you never super chat, but thank you so much for your donation. Yes, it's been reported that, it's going to be a battle between Liverpool and United. It looks like they are willing just to release him on the loan. They're not really willing to sell him. The young 21-year-old, he wants to have a regular playing time. And as you know, Bayern Munich are experts to play to be the Electrolux Hoover machine, like a vacuum cleaner, to suck up by everyone, and they just sit on the bench. If it comes down to the player, I think he will choose Ten Hag because he knows Ten Hag better than Liverpool. Regarding the Amrabat as well, nothing has changed. It is the same. Even the president of Fiorentina came out today to say, we don't want an unhappy player. We already found a replacement. There is an official agreement between the clubs, and that's it. It's just formality to trigger. So I don't understand why people are trying to create that travesty. The only thing, but for what the Padula also said I remember, the only thing that could stop this deal, that is if Manchester United walks away from it. That's how certain this deal is. Klopp has tried, Saudi's tried, everyone's tried, and even the links to Real Madrid. No, what was it? Came out today, recently.
Real Madrid today.
No, not Real Madrid.
Hold on. Yeah.
No, where João Felix is playing.
Oh, Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid, yes. But that was just rumors, and that is they're just there as a backup just in case. But if you still have 1 year extension left to play for Fiorentina, so he's not going to be clubless, and that's the thing, right? So for me, it's not a panic. It's just a matter of fact that we need reinforcement and we need to have the outs out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand that people don't understand that the outs is very important this instant, because you have very toxic player sitting and stinking up the place and don't want to play football. And I do see a resolution, and I hope I see Harry Maguire going out the door, because that is another toxic element that has fired up the fan base, So I wouldn't worry. Even Fabrizio Romano came out to say there will be one midfield signer, and that's going to be most likely the Amrabat, right? Yeah, unless we do a U-turn and say, well, let's go for Tchouaméni, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Do you think that Tchouaméni would be a better option or no?
No, yeah. No. Who knows? It's up to Ten Hag. But the thing is, I don't think we have the money at the moment.
I don't think so either.
I think we are skint. We are broke. We don't have any capital. We have our credit card, but we already have a huge credit card bill, so we don't want to use it. That's the problem. So if we get desperate enough, okay, we will take out the golden card and ching and buy a player, but it will be in the last minute, as it seems for me now. We can get the Gravenberg on a loan for a year. If we can get a good deal, 5-6 million, that would be okay. We could get the Amrabat, yes, that's 25 million, but okay, we don't have any more money. That's it.
No, I think that it's going to be a resolution this week. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel it in my toes. Amrabatis are all around us. And so the story goes. You know,
I feel it's been a year since we started talking about Amrabat.
Yeah,
It needs to happen soon. I'm starting to get impatient. But it's been a lot of wild rumors now lately. You know, we have Victor Lindelof going to France to Rennes, and Varane to Saudi. What's going on? You know,
bullshit. That was knocked down today as well. That's BS. Varane ain't going nowhere. He's happy to stay. He ain't going nowhere. It's just Saudi's trying. Lindelof ain't going nowhere as well. That's absolutely been knocked down today. Welcome, Karen Reed. We will get Amrabats also when we make their freaking minds up. It's not about making the freaking minds up. If you have read the room, you would understand that the stumbling block has been Harry Maguire. You know, they were banking at it. Scott McTominay as well. Also that. He's not playing those players because he wants to.
I've just realized that it's logged me in as Devil's account, because when I'm running the No Agendas podcast, I don't want Devils to sue me, so I'm going to log out and log back in. Let me back on. Let me back on in 2 minutes. I don't want Danny to sue me. I don't want Danny to sue me, man. So let me.
Hey, anyway, let's rock up this mood. Like, you know, it's done and dusted. You go log out yourself.
I'm gonna log off and log.
Bring back Danny Devils in the details, all right? When you add it, just bring him in, all right? Cool.
All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Jamie Wayne and everyone, don't be sorry. Be yourself. Be the pitbull as you are. everyone is perfect as you are. Alien Tenno, good up, Peter. How are you going? Oh, Peter, it's been a while. I missed you, mate. You know, thank you. Welcome to the chat, guys. Sorry, we were having a little bit of a stinker of discussion. I feel a little bit better now. You know, if you can sing a little bit like wet, wet, wet and all that stuff, you know, they should be slabheads. Come on, man. And you know, that statement which really pissed me off is that, like, you know, I don't have to prove myself, right?
Yeah, yes, nothing to prove. That's
and the statement, I don't want to go to West Ham. I want to go to something bigger. And I was watching the game yesterday, and I was watching the game yesterday, and it's like, would he really fit a West Ham? Is it no? Where will he fit? Championship, maybe. I'm getting to the point where if somebody's blocking us our team development, this is what I'm getting. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Get on your bike. Get out of here. That's it.
Yeah, but the thing with Maguire, where do we want to go? You know, he's delusional. You know, West Ham is the best they can do. He won't go to City. City don't want him. Liverpool don't want him. I don't think Spurs want him. I don't think Arsenal want him. You know, none of the clubs in the top six, like West Ham is the best they can get. And United don't want him. So read the room.
Yeah, read the room.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have his reading glasses on. I don't know. I
think his advisors are delusional too.
Yeah. Rice had problems with the contacts today. Like, you know, he went like this. Maybe Harry Maguire has like this bottlenecks. He can't see, right? I don't know. I'm getting to a breaking point when I'm just about to lose my shit, to be honest. Like, you know, big up Neil Driscoll, big up Alien Tenno, big up Welshgard is in the house. What's Erik Ten Hag to do? He's got 1.5 a squad and doesn't want to and can't get rid of. Finally, Welshgard sees what I see. Do you see what I see? Tank is in the house. Tchouameni isn't realistic. Gravenberch is more likely.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Guys, this is what I like. We are getting an Amrabat in, right? That is the perfect tank destroyer. That is a Fred, like a Super Mario Fred, like on crack, you know? That guy can. That guy is so tenacious. He's got an engine for the whole team, right? And plus, if you get a Gravenberch on a loan, right? Then you have a Pappi that can actually replace Mason Greenwood, because I heard there's a spot available. Pappi, what are you doing? Where did you come from?
Somehow I just appeared.
I just added them.
I was just talking on the side, and there we have a Pappi. And then I went on a rant. How you going, man? How you doing? Can we have a wing?
Here we are.
Did you get a prank call today from Richard Arnold?
I'm still confused. I don't even want to go back there because I listened to the first portion of the
It was me.
show.
It was me.
But yeah, no.
Guess what I did? I prank called the guy, like, you know, and he's like, and I put this thickest accent on, like, you know, hello, this is Richard Arnold from Manchester United. We have an audition at 9 o'clock with the Mufc Realist TV to replace Mason Greenwood. And it's like, yeah, you fucker. Anyway, you made it, my friend. You made it. How are you doing?
Yes, glad to be here with you guys. Evening, Jamie. That's
evening.
good. That's good, Jarvis. Yes.
So, I have a serious question for you. If I paid you $100, would you go and pick up Harry Maguire and drive him all the way to West Ham?
I'd do it and give you $100.
Just to take him out.
I do it for free. The right answer is I should do it for free.
Yes, like it's just a little bit. That's the fridge that, as I said, it has lost a thermostat, so it can't even read the room. You know, it's like the fridge is he's so out of. I understand, you know, when you don't want to take a wage cut, nobody wants to, but it's not like you're like, you know, downgrading from like you know, you can, you know what I'm saying? Like Harry Maguire still has something, and if you keep playing maybe at West Ham or whatever, you can go to Saudi Arabia after 4 years when Southgate gets fired, you know. Yeah, because there's no other manager that's gonna pick you for England, of course. Like after Maguire, after Southgate leaves. So anyway, that's very frustrating.
Andy Tate saying Harry, you know, Maguire has no ambition. But guys, guess what I feel like we should do?
I agree with you, Andy.
Can we just take Jimmy? Look at me, Jimmy, focus.
I was trying to
breathe in.
I just had a notification from the Atletico, so I was just looking at what it was.
Breathe in, breathe out, because now we're gonna do a break the ice. Oh yeah. You be the drummer. You be the bass player. What are you gonna be, guitarist?
Yeah. Where's the music?
You need to do a music show. You need to do a music show. I've told you.
Where's the music?
You don't hear the music.
Can you not hear it?
What? No music.
It's in your head.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Just go over.
I don't know what song it is.
Those on the vocals now.
You've got him going. You've got him going now. You've got him going.
I feel like I felt it was like a funeral, so we just have to get it up. We have to gas it up and continue with the show. All right? Was that a good icebreaker? I let you continue because I got to open for my cat. He's a terrorist. So keep going and let's continue with the show. Everyone in the room, we all kiss up and make up. I hope we all understood. Welcome to the stream, Power Hour. Welcome to the stream, Jimmy, or is it Danny in the Devil in the Details? So no, it is.
No, I don't know what's it displaying.
It's Jimmy in the Details.
Yeah, is it? What name is it displaying on there?
It is Joe Glaze's ponytail.
Joe Glazer's ponytail.
Uncle Jimmy.
Is it displaying Uncle Jimmy? Yeah.
Yeah, it is J-Star, 100% J-Star. It is J-Star, guys. Listen, let's continue with the show, right? What do we have? We have 110 people in the chat room. Guys, smash a like. Yo, Sharon is in the house. Box is in the house. Edward is in the house. Alien Tenno. God, everyone. We have a super. Where do we have a super?
Yeah, Alien Tenno.
Peter
saying. Can you read it?
I don't have my reading glasses on. You know, I'm blind as a bat.
Yeah, Eternal eat off it because it was twerking. Big up, Peter. Listen, guys, continue.
You're turned it off just as I was twerking.
We have a show to do. Jarvis, take it away. Thank you, Peter.
Let's. Oh, okay. Let's go to things I have planned that we talk about. We are going to talk about Ten Hag and his new formation. Last season, he played the 3-3-1-3. Here's a illustration of the tactics. As you see, we have 𝑷𝒉𝒊𝒔𝒉 in the back. We have 3 people in the back. There's Varane. It's Martinez. Okay,
Martinez, Varane.
And he used to drop Eriksen as the quarterback down on the left when we were attacking, so he could spread those passes. And you had the fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, and Casemiro in the midfield, Fernandes in front of them, Antony, Rashford, and Martial up top. This was the thing Erik Ten Hag was doing last season. Do you agree, Jimmy?
Yeah, that looks right, because but with Eriksen, I don't know if he was. I don't remember too many moments where he was fixed in this in this bottom position here, because I feel like it was he was swapping with Luke Shaw quite a lot more than he was staying put. So
yeah.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
It was always. I feel like it was always. Luke Shaw was always the one who started everything, and then Eriksen would then step in, and then Luke Shaw would go forward, because Luke Shaw is just much quicker going forward. So they would do this swap a lot. But yeah, I agree. That was quite a fix.
So basically, this was what Ten Hag was trying to do last season with a fairly amount of success. He gave us two cup finals, and we ended third in the League Cup victory. So this is his tactics this season. So it's basically, I have called it, but I'm not sure they call it the 3-1-6, but I call it the 3-1-4-3, because you have 3 in the back, because you count Onana. Because Onana is involved with the build-up. And then you have Casemiro alone in front of the 3 in the back. And you have 4 in the midfield with Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Fernandes, and Mason Mount. But they are really high up the field. And you have 3 attackers with Antony, Garnacho, and Rashford.
So, the disappointing thing for me, and this is very accurate. This here now is very, very accurate. If you look at even all the games that we've played so far, this is very accurate. I'm disappointed that we've not made the most of how much Onana wants to come forward. And for me, that in itself is a big problem, because what we were all expecting was we would flood the midfield, because Onana adding a number at the back means that Martinez was playing almost like a midfielder. That's what you would expect, because he's the one capable of joining Casemiro in that midfield, which means that Mount and Bruno don't have to do so much defensive work. Because if you look at a lot of the poor moments that Mount has had, is because he's had to do a lot of defensive work to cover for Casemiro. And I'm not saying not blaming Casemiro. I'm just talking about Casemiro's ability to be able to spread himself across the pitch. Now, because you've got Mount coming back so much, I'm disappointed, because Onana adding that number should automatically mean we can overflood the midfield when we need to, and we just have not done it.
Yeah.
Go on, Barry. You carry on. Sorry, you finish what you were explaining. Then
piggyback off of what Jimmy said before you respond, Jarvis, is like, if you saw the Wolves game in the first half, Onana pinged the ball to Garnacho 2 or 3 times, and then he was like, "Oh, we're not. You change a tactic because you can't keep repeating the same thing if it's not working out." And we just as a team, for me as a fan, I haven't seen the team figuring out how to maximize and utilize Onana's strengths to the maximum, because that pass that we did versus Spurs, that's a Pogba-esque type of switch of play that we hadn't seen.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Scholes type of switch of play. Like, Eriksen can distribute the ball, but Onana fizzed that ball to Garnacho. In this is now the game versus Spurs, match day 2, and this is a skill that, like, come on, guys. What for me, it's like I'm always asking this question: is like, when are we gonna see an attacking pattern?
But they're almost forcing Onana to push back. Like, he's starting to. At times, it looked like David De Gea. I'm not
Yo,
saying
he was gonna be a comment, David.
no, because these guys are not. Then he's saying, "Look, guys, I'm here. You guys go. Look at me. I'm here." But they're stuck. They seem to be stuck in this line. And then Onana's thinking, well, if you guys are going to stand there, I have to see the ball, so I need to move back. So they're almost pinning him back. So the way we are playing from midfield, we're forcing the keeper to push back more than he likes to. Now you're going to see Onana getting into that habit now. And now, we've turned Onana into David De Gea all over again.
And then he becomes rusty and all that. The only thing that can be a little green silver lining, sorry, I nearly said silver lining, is the fact that Højlund is another fast player. So Onana will have more than one target in terms of players that you can ping a ball to that have good acceleration. A fit Rasmus Højlund is faster than all our other attackers, barring Rashford. So for sure that at least we're going to try and exploit this long ball trait that Onana has.
Point. Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, my thinking of why did Ten Hag change his tactics from last season to this season. One of the things I can see is that he don't need Eriksen to drop back and be the quarterback in a way, because he have Onana now who can ping those balls. So we're thinking, okay, I can put an extra man into the attack, and maybe that's why he plays with Mason Mount and have two number 8s / number 10. What's your thoughts about that,
Jimmy?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I keep getting notifications. It's not even anything. There's nothing. Yeah, it's just same stories that have come out 20 times today. It's like, it's boring now.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, when you compare last season to this season with Ten Hag, he uses Onana as the quarterback, not Eriksen, in a way. So that's why he can move Eriksen. That's Mason Mount this season up as a number 8, number 10.
This is where I think, and I was having this conversation with my cousin this morning, that if Eriksen plays his cards right, he could play Mount out of the team. Now, I'm not saying that's the system I would go with, personally, but if Eriksen can prove to be productive in this left-hand side pocket where he is the first point of support for Onana, and they build that relationship, because I think Eriksen's more capable of building that relationship than Mount is, simply because of they play two different ways. If he can exploit that availability of Onana, he could end up being the one that gets picked over Mount. If it works. Now, that's not my preference. Like I said, I still think that this midfield is fine. It just needs we need tweaking in how we're starting to build up from the back. Because I think this midfield is fine. It would work absolutely fine. I don't see why it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I think
I see why it doesn't work, because I think we have a problem. You see in the center, we have Fernandes, we have Mason Mount, we have Rashford. None of them are press resistive. So we lose the ball too easily when we are trying to build up. So we're getting hurt.
And that's why Amrabat would be useful, because he's very press resistant. I think that's one of his stronger qualities, is that he's extremely press resistant. This is a player who can build a very good shell around himself, and no one can get the ball off him at all. So these are the type of players that you need. If you look at all the top teams, have got one. Arsenal have got Partey. I know he didn't play every game last season, but they've got Partey, and now they've got Rice, who's also press resistant. So you're looking at a midfield that's going to be very effective, especially in those moments where the press is so effective against them that they have to recycle. They haven't got a choice but to recycle the ball. You've got two midfielders that can do it. Those are the teams that challenge for the title.
Can I say something? I spotted, Arsenal today, how their midfield is operating when they are pressing. They're hunting like a pack. They're just basically closing down all the spaces. And they're actually quite good at that. But we don't have the personnel to do that. And I believe that the solution here needs to go to the recruitment market in terms of getting an Amrabat and the Gravenberch there. Because if you're playing Bruno and Fernandes, if you're going to play the, attacking 6, that is meant to be a pressing high line and retain the ball and win the ball high up in the pitch again, right? Currently, that's not working, and currently it's not working to have a sitting CDM in terms of Casemiro that hasn't really found the form as of yet. So I can see the solution, because we are here looking at, okay, last season we played what you said, like the 4-3-2-1, right? This is what the players are used to. This is kind of a little bit of a change because, you have a Onana. It's a new style of play. I don't think that the players kind of have adopted to his style of play, and they're a little bit surprised at getting that fast ball to the feet. And I was just applauding for his distribution last time when he found Garnacho. He could have almost scored on the first touch, but he didn't, right? So I don't panic, but I just see a solution when you draw up the patterns here. Like, what else do you see, Jarvis, that can solve the problem? Is that a personnel issue, or is it just an adaptation period? Or
when it comes to Ten Hag, you saw the first 35 minutes against Spurs. We were pressing really good. We had man marking. We stopped Spurs playing out from the back almost every attack.
You see this comment from Cooper, and he says, "Dear stream, let's check Mount. I think Chelsea sold us his twin brother."
Oh, where is it? That is the best they've ever sold a twin brother. Freemason. Freemason.
We need to do a birth certificate check on Mason.
Yeah.
We need to confirm. It's my man that we saw. The my man that we saw doing all those techers.
What are his birthmarks? We want the real.
Yeah, we need to know what birthmarks he was born with. We need to know all these things so we can check this.
Yeah, just let's not forget the people in the VAR room. I'm just going to go with Tank Sherman and say we are not very good at inconsistent half press. We're easy bypassed when extremely predictable. That is what I see as well, guys. Like 2 games in a row, at least we stopped it in the first half. We looked a little bit decent against Spurs, but we
were better actually in that respect against Spurs, because against Wolves, that that run that he just walked through, I was honestly, my heart broke. I was sometimes football makes me angry, because when I'm watching football, I'm screaming, shouting, swearing. I'm the devil when I'm watching football. But you know what? Sometimes you see your team do something and you just feel so heartbroken. You can't even be angry. You just want to cry. You just like, how? Why are you doing this to me? Why would you allow this to happen to you guys? You guys are professional footballers. I played in midfield. I've never played as a professional footballer, but in all my playing years, I played in midfield. I swear to God, I would never ever have allowed that to happen. Someone's going down. Someone's going to the ground.
Jarvis, what are we going to do for the next game? What do you see us? You have a couple of slides here. Yeah.
Well, go back to the chat, Mick, because we have some good news from Angie.
Angie, what does Angie has to say?
She gifted 10 memberships.
Oh, no way. Did she? Big up Angie, the legend of this community, gifted 10 memberships. Woohoo!
And we have members. It's Box, it's 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒅, it's Alien Tenno, it's Gary Kyle, Milos Mitic is already a member. We have Andy Young, Alex. We have Seekers. We have the Ferocious and Mark Brooks, as I see as new.
Oh,
member.
Brooksy became a member too.
So
big up to everyone.
Give a big thanks to Angie in the chat. Thank you, Angie.
Yeah, big up, Angie. Thank you so much. You're a darling as per usual. What would we do without you, Angie? Seriously. Yeah, deserves another applause. Come on. Queen Angie is what Jamie Wayne is saying.
Big up, Angie. Big up.
Yeah, so let's.
I just want to move on, and when it comes to the game against Spurs, I think we were really good the first 35 minutes. We were pressing high. We were locking off Spurs when they were trying to build up. We were man marking them. We had legs. We were following their players everywhere, and we won the ball several times high
We
up
did.
the pitch, and we had good chances because of that, but we couldn't conceive the ball nor score any goals. But suddenly it looked like our players was knackered. They were tired, and I'm not sure why. Spurs were running a lot more than us, and I have one episode here from the second half, and it's about how we move our legs going defensively in this situation. So I go with the first slide here, and you see here Spurs is attacking on the right side, and I have a red ring around two players. That's Bruno Fernandes and it's Ben Davies. He was subbed in as left back for Spurs, and you see we are in a okay formation. It's Garnacho who is pressing the Spurs player on the ball, and Fernandes and Rashford is covering him.
Yeah, good starting position. I think that's all right.
But you see the ball in the middle of the picture, because the pass went through. The Spurs striker, I think it's Son. He gets the ball and lays it back to Madison, who's the Spurs player in behind, and he shifted over to the left. But you see in the red ring, there's Ben Davies again and Bruno Fernandes. You see we have 4 defenders. We have Eriksen coming in and pressing the ball, and Varane is pressing the ball. So far, so good. But this is the next picture. If you see the red ring, you see Ben Davies. Where is Bruno?
Yeah.
Where is Bruno?
He's been stagnant this whole time. The picture's been changing, and he's been the one who's not changing.
You see that's a bad sign. What you've just said there, where if you take, this is I remember back in the day, right? My coach at the time, and this is a long time ago. This is a long time ago, and he used to always say, when he's watching us play, he used to say, if I look once and you're there, and then I look again and you're still there, and if I look for the 3rd time and you're still there, that's a big problem for me. He used to say, if I look at you 3 times, you better make sure you've moved somewhere else. It was his thing, and that was only really to say, football is a mobile game. You can't stay there and and not go anywhere. You have to. There's something happening somewhere. So why are you still in the same place? There's no way that nothing has happened for the last 2 minutes. You have to be somewhere else.
I agree, Jimmy. But if you see that picture, you see Varane. He was pressing Son because he was meeting the ball on the pass. So Varane is out of the position. He's not in the back 4 anymore. There's a back 3.
He's in the middle. Yeah.
He's in the middle,
And Bruno is watching. The ball is going over Bruno's head and up to the wing, and Ben Davies is just running. We have Daly, who is our right back. He's chasing down the winger now, and Martinez, he's alone. And Bruno is just watching.
Can you, Jarvis, are you able to quickly go back to the first slide again, and then the second one, and then just this one, just to catch us up on Bruno?
This is the first slide. Bruno is standing with Ben Davies.
Yeah, Ben Davies. Yeah. Wow.
And you see the next, there he starts.
But Ben Davies has started peeling off there in that second one.
Yeah. And you see there, Varane is pushing, and Bruno is watching it. He sees what's going on, but he don't catch it. And now we have the third picture.
You see,
Bruno
Ben Davies
is behind, and Varane is out of position.
Bruno's not gone anywhere. This is what I'm saying. So there, I mean, that. So when we all know this. This football hasn't changed in this respect. It's been the same since the beginning of time. If I have a player with me, unless I tell someone else to cover, so I can go somewhere else so they can cover this player, that player is my player. I cannot allow them to get away from me. That's my job. This is now my player. Unless that player completely goes outside of my zone, then I communicate with someone else to say, can you cover this? Because now there's someone else in my zone, so I need to cover this. So that is just basic football principles.
Yes.
So if Bruno doesn't think he wants to chase him because I know he wants to cover that box there. If you see that open box there, because he knows he can't catch up with the through ball that's going to go over his head. So his thinking is, right, let me cover this box here to the left-hand side, top left-hand side of the screen. If you see that space, because he's thinking of, if Ben Davies gets to the ball but he doesn't make the cross, he's going to have to play it back into this area. So he's thinking, I need to cover that area. So it's not it's not the wrong thing to do. It's just the wrong time to do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't read the situation because of Varane. That's my thing.
But in this instant, then you sort of get Varane out of the position. Bruno is ball watching, like you know. We played the game, like, you know, as a kid, you used to just stand static and ball watch, like, you know, and that's classical. You got to follow the play. You know, he doesn't track his man there, and that is all of a sudden you have two out of position, open space there, open, like, you know, you're dragging everyone out of position. So I see what you're trying to do there. But is it all the time, or is it just in the beginning of the season right now that are a little bit complacent?
No, but I think you'll always get, you know, when players that play like Bruno, and I know people are going to kill me because they say, oh, you're Bruno Defense League. Yeah, I know I'm BDL, but I only defend Bruno when I can defend him, because for me, Bruno is, you're always going to have these moments with Bruno. That's never going to change. So for me, the thing with Bruno is, and now that he's captain, he's going to have to adjust the way that his mentality works, because his mentality is the right mentality. Because right now, what Bruno's thinking, he's thinking if he counts man for man, that the defenders should be able to handle this with Onana coming out a little bit, right? They should be able to defend this. They should be fine. So Bruno's thinking, he's already thinking about the transition. I'm not trying to defend him here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that Bruno is, his reservations to get to the ball is not because he's lazy. It's because in Bruno's mind, he's thinking about the transition the other way already. That's what he's thinking.
I agree, Uncle Jimmy. But, you know, for me, people talk about playing Bruno in the 6. And this is what I'm saying about Bruno. My critique of Bruno is he's not disciplined enough to see these situations. He don't catch them quick enough. When you have good defensive midfielders or box-to-box midfielders, they usually catch this really fast. And we can go to slide 4. Now you see Bruno in the right. He has lost Ben Davies completely. He has no way of recovering. And the ball is out on the left for Spurs. Daly is trying to push out. He doesn't watch his back. Martinez, he has one man behind him and one man in front of him. And Luke Shaw is just holding the line. So now we have a problem. And the next picture, the ball comes in. Ben Davies gets the ball and scores. But if you see in the right corner, there's a red ring. Who's that?
Casa.
Yes, sir.
It's
Casemiro. Yeah. Where is Casemiro? Because
this is
on
vacation.
One of those
moments that I know. This is one of the few moments that I clearly noticed, because sometimes when I'm watching football, I just watch it with emotion. I don't see these little things that you guys are able to see. I'm just not always there, because sometimes I just find out so much when I'm watching the match. I'm not paying enough attention to any detail of the match. I just want them to make it work. So, but these moments here with Casemiro had so many of these moments in both games. In both games.
It's not simply that they, we under no shape or form are we here to call players out, right? But we just see the patterns that can be improved. That's the purpose of this chat.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I can see the chat is people going like, oh, stat pattern, Bruno is crap and stuff like that. It's not on the shape or form that we are critiquing. It's what we're saying at this moment, they are not sharp enough and they're not following the play and they're ball watching, what I can see. Even Casemiro as well.
It's not
only
surprise
me if McTominay gets ahead of Casemiro next game, just as a surprise. That, like, if Ten Hag really, because all these things that these analysis depend on really what the tactical team at Carrington really think. Who's the most culpable? Who's the biggest culprit in this situation, and who's the recurring culprit from the previous game and this game, and even the moments that even the other team didn't score. So if it all fingers seem to point at Casemiro, we might even see a surprise Scott McTominay in there when we're thinking that the changes might be.
I really, really hope not. The way that
I hope not too.
the way that these other teams have reshaped their midfields. if we there's I cannot think of a single midfield in the Premier League now that Scott McTominay would come out on top against if he's playing in that position. And that's no knock. I've defended Scott McTominay so much. I've held whole spaces defending Scott McTominay because he's been slated too much. Because I think the boy's got heart. He's got everything else that it takes to make it a Manchester United. Apart from, unfortunately, the ability. He just hasn't got the ability for it, and that's no knock on him, his efforts, or he's an amazing lad.
But what is that, Jimmy, that most coaches and managers see in Scott McTominay that I cannot see? I cannot see what his best attributes and position is. I know he's
determination. He's got that determination, because if
determination.
if you think about it, though, Scott McTominay has had games where he's been the most important player on the pitch for us. Don't forget, and also don't. It's very difficult to get midfielders that are more defensively minded, which is what we see Scott McTominay as. But they can score a goal from 20 yards. It's very difficult to find those midfielders. So a lot of times that we play Scott McTominay because it's like a hoping game. If he gets one of those moments, we could nick a goal, because no one expects him to be in those positions to have a shot. So he's always open to take the shots. That's why he was encouraged to take shots from anywhere with Mourinho.
Oi. Ed Woodward is in the house saying McTominay is a ball carrier midfielder.
Big up to you, Ed.
Who is this person, man?
Box to box.
Man said Scott McPurlo and that, innit? Scott McPurlo.
But he gets caught out. He's called McTominay FC.
He's absolutely his best attributes is going forward. He's the most lethal outside the 6-yard box, drifting, but he ain't a CDM, or he's more of an attacking midfielder, according to my opinion, right? But we never seem to play people in the right position. We always seem to play people in the wrong positions, right? And so instead of just, why play Rashford in the number 9? Obviously, because we don't have anyone that could play the role, until this young kid comes in, and that is a big task and a burden on a 20-year-old. Hopefully he can carry it, right? We have a Martial that's hopefully can stay fit, but I caught that this new system, he ain't ready for the players as of yet, because we don't have the personnel that can play it. So why not, as a solution, revert back to the old, the 3-2, what would it be, 4-3-2-1?
Yeah, 4-3-2-1
for now, and start, just get the points out. And then when you have everyone fit and firing, when you have an Amrabat in, when you have a Gravenberch in, and when you get rid of everything, then you can look at to switch out to play that system, to play out from the back. Obviously, that's
free Martial.
Ed Woodward, free Martial.
Yeah, Ed Woodward's taking a piss.
Okay, big up. I love it. It's definitely the system. What Woodward is saying, he's the masterclass of that system, how he constructed the Glazers to rob us blind. Honest to God. But that's the way I see it, Jarvis. Maybe you see it differently, but I caught it. I know what he wants to do, but he ain't working, because both Bruno and Mason Mount are not really they're ball watchers as well. They're more attacking. And people there, you speak to Blues fans, they say, I don't understand why you're playing Mason Mount as a more defensive style. His best attribute is going forward, to be the shitster in the in the front line. And I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but so I explained it, Mick, in the beginning when I showed the formation. Ten Hag thinks that Onana can do the quarterback role. So we just need 2 center backs and Onana, and he can push up everybody else. So, but the problem now is how, it's the distance between the defense, the midfield, and the attack. The distance is too big. So every time we lose the ball, we run after it.
But it's based on 3 phases. I mean, we're talking about transitions. It's supposed to start from Onana, transition the ball to the defenders, to the midfield, and to the attack, or ping a ball to to the feet of Garnacho, what we saw the other day, But I keep saying that I don't think that it's an embedded period. I think people are still used to see David De Gea between the sticks, and that's been embedded, right? With the fullbacks. It's hard to to change to something new, and because back in your mind you still have that program, right? I saw it clearly, like against the Wolves, because I saw Luke Shaw was still like going, towards the byline and protecting Onana. Well, he didn't have to. You know what I mean? I saw that Casemiro was left, especially with Bruno and both Mount being high up. There became this donut hole where Casemiro was the only sitting, like, center defender. And that kind of also exposed Luke Shaw and, Martinez leading, that they both received yellow cards because they had to, right? They took it for the team. So that's why I'm saying, like, tread with a little bit of a cautious. Maybe it's too early, like, maybe it's too early to go full on. I don't think we had the time to practice the new system, and maybe it's not the time, because right now, the way I see it is to rack up as many points as possible. It ain't so bad start. Yeah. Yep. It ain't so bad start what people think about, because last season we also had a bad start, but we lost the first 2 games. Now, the thing is that, okay, we lose one game, it hurts. Like, I get really pissed off, 100%. But the next thing, I don't think that we're going to have such a bad performance in Old Trafford. Like, I think that we will bounce back, to be honest. And I do expect to see maybe an introduction of Rasmus Højlund to sit on the bench on Saturday. And I think they're going to do that just to calm down the crowd and the hostility. I don't know what you guys are thinking. But what is the solution? Who should we clearly cannot start with the same team, or do you think it will be stubborn to do that again?
I can see him starting the same team, to be honest, and I think more so because
we don't have anyone else to trust to play.
Well, yeah, I can't see who else he would think would do a better job than those guys. That's the
clearly he didn't trust Scott McTominay at all. He didn't put him out. He was on the bench. Is it that he's looking to sell him 100% and he doesn't want to have him injured?
Yeah, I think he would rather get rid of Scott McTominay, I think. But obviously on the proviso that we get Amrabat or or Nana, whichever direction he chooses to go. But I can't see why he would want to keep Scott McTominay, because I just don't think he's going to use him enough. Because Scott McTominay, when Scott McTominay comes on, it means that Ten Hag has decided to change completely tactically. So for me, I've never seen him bring Scott McTominay in to try and do the job that he thinks, a Bruno or a Mason Mount would do. It's just not. I don't think he sees him that way. So I think he's going to have to sell. He's going to have to sell him, and he knows that. But it's only if
I think losing Kobbie Mainoo was also a big blow. I know he's an massive blow, because he was part of the plan, and that comes again to my point with the PR tour, and playing on AstroTurf is really, really hard for your joints and knees, right? So the reason, he was not the only one that was injured in US and AstroTurf. There were several players that got injuries in the preseason. So I don't know. I don't insist us to go any further than just go on a training camp in Europe. But on the other hand, I do respect that the club is sort of going to Asia or to America to let you guys.
I don't see why they do it. I just, I know they have to do it, but for the team, they're out there too long. They're traveling and they're doing all this stuff, and then when they're there, it's just more the PR stuff. It's not really the football. It's not really the main focus sometimes. I just wish it was they go away, they play 1 or 2 games in 2 or 3 days, and then they come back and then they just play friendlies with European teams. I'm sorry, for me, that's the best way to go about it. If you want to, I just don't agree with their whole schedule of preseason. It's too much. It's too much for me.
There's other people that feel, maybe it's a bit of an excuse, but I think Jarvis, you shared this article with me that just showed a global view of all the how Man United spent that preseason, and we spent 50 hours traveling, about 50 hours also waiting, and there's also just like the fatigue that comes with that, and the body does not
traveling
recover.
takes it out of you. When I fly, I'm from Malawi. I go to Malawi every year.
Yeah.
When I fly back, the flight is 10, 11 hours. And honestly, when I get back, it takes me 4 or 5 days to recover.
And to be like, to even your balance, even just like
honestly,
your
like
connection,
everything is just a little bit off. 4 or 5 days.
So that has had a bearing. I'm sure it has had an impact on at least our first game, and maybe some parts of the second game as well. But at the end of the day, as Mick said earlier on, when you look at it, we're a little bit ahead of where we were last season this time. So we could still end up having a better season than we had last time. And we're frustrated because obviously Spurs were there for the taking. They're the team that's still transitioning from Fosso football, and we couldn't force them into errors enough. When they're trying to build up from the back. Our press was horrible, Jimmy. Our press was like, didn't have any bite. And parts of it is connected to what the lethargic nature of like what the guy in the red circle that Jarvis drew, that's part of him. Part of it is that he's like, is he the pressing trigger? And it doesn't seem like our presses are actually effective. They were just pressing for pressing's sake, and yeah, go ahead, Mick.
I was watching Arsenal today, and I kept saying that if you do too many changes, Arsenal didn't look like the same Arsenal of last season because of a couple of changes. They added Kovacic in, they added Declan Rice in, and all of a sudden it didn't look the same. I don't think they look as sharp. And the same thing with us. We done some tweaks, and it takes time.
Havertz.
Yeah, and Havertz as well. And it takes time until the new cogs or the spare parts fits within the engine and all greased up and all glued up, I think. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about panic. I know the form will come. And I'm just comparing to last season, how we started. And yeah, we got 3 points. Yeah, we were kind of okay. We were kind of having more shots on targets in the first half of Spurs. It was just a bad deflection. And as soon as that ball went in, the whole morale of the team went down, went deflated. It went back to the default. I don't know why it is so, or that clearly needs to go out. I think that Rashford should need to have a little bit break. I mean, to get his aggressiveness and hungriness back again. Never play him as number 9. I think he deserves to play on his natural position. I just go back to the way Ten Hag used to do, like to take them out of the team and get the hunger back in. Put you back in when you're ready, right? So I'm just here to understand what is the solution, gentlemen and ladies in the VR room, and where do we see us going from here? Are we consistent? Are we going to be? If you were Ten Hag, what would you do right now? Would you consistently playing this new system until players get it?
I would. For me, one of the main things, as I mentioned before, is I need the players to understand why Onana has been brought into the team. They need to understand why Ten Hag went all out and had arguments with different senior figures at the club, because they actually thought that they should have gone a different way. And he's fought for Onana because he wants this keeper that can play the way that Onana plays. But if the players don't understand those reasons, it's completely pointless. It doesn't improve the team at all. So they need to understand that Onana was brought in to it's very straightforward, to push the line up. That's the main reason why he was brought in. And if they keep restricting him from doing that, because the deeper they drop, the deeper Onana has to drop and stay there.
Good point.
Keepers like to create that distance so they can see where the ball's coming from. Keepers
but then
don't
you have
like their defenders being too close to them. They want their defenders a bit further away so they can have a clearer picture of the pitch. And all the players need to understand that that's the reason why he was brought in. If it starts there, everything else is going to be fine. But also, I think you find that we're probably not going to improve a lot until Højlund's actually in the team.
Yeah, that is the missing cog as well, what I'm thinking. But in a way, if you're then being logical to understand that Onana hasn't been in for that long. No, is it 3 weeks since he started? Is it? Yeah. So we're still in an embedded period to understand, to play that system. And therefore, I'm feeling more positive to thinking that, yeah, they will come, right? It has to come. You know, you cannot go a whole season like fumbling like this. For me, it's as simple like, you know, hey, if I get a new team members in my work colleagues, it take me some time to get to know the working style, right? And I can play accordingly, right? That's normal, right? That's the way I see it as well. Listen, what people are saying here, like, you know, we have a super chat coming in right from an uppercut from Ryan, donating $5 almost from the USA. Big up, guys. Simply, these players aren't good enough, and let coach downtime, time and time, weak mentality away from home. No one can save this team. I can see what you're trying to say, because simply the weak mentality was we had a horrible away form last season, and that was my wish against Spurs that we actually collect those 3 points so we get over that, you know, bogey. You know what I mean? But big up, Ryan. Like, you know, I don't know what to answer. Anyone can answer this question because I hope I can only see improvements, and that's what we're here to discuss as a community. Like, you know, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead,
go,
Jarvis. Actually, you haven't chimed in a minute. Go ahead.
no. I'm just saying that Ryan has a point. You know, we have problems with personnel because our tactics. Yeah, okay. I think Ten Hag is struggling because he wants to do things, but the players can't follow his orders in a way because they don't have the skills or the attributes to play his way. But the weak mentality, yeah, but we are trying to get rid of the the usual suspects. You know, Maguire is leaving and some of those other players, but that's still, we lost 7-0 against Liverpool and 6-3, and we had heavy defeats last season. So yeah, you have a point, but you know, it's a process. Last season was stage 1. This season is stage 2.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see and give Ten Hag time. You know, I won't say that we are not. Every player are not good enough. We have some good players.
Yeah, you can see someone said, Stephanie just said now, the same 3 players turned up for both matches: 𝑴𝒊𝒄𝒌, Onana, Varane. And this, but these are examples of players that they can bring, you can, because football, you can chop it down to basics, and these players have the ability to chop things down to basics, and that's why 𝑴𝒊𝒄𝒌 is improving so much, because the manager spoke to him and he has broken his game down to complete basics, and he's trying to get the basics right. And if the team are playing well enough, he can then do those extra bits on top of the basics. So football is down to basics.
I will just add on to Ryan here too, because when you come down to people that are willing and listening and willing to improve, this that you mentioned a very good example. But for me, if I look at the transfer market right now, so I understand what he's trying to do, basically trying to get rid of the people that don't listen to him, that doesn't follow his rules and principles. And I'm talking about Harry Maguire, like, you know, because I've seen so many players being sent off, come back, put on the bench, and come back and become better players. But I haven't seen Harry Maguire ever since Ten Hag came in. I haven't seen one single improvement other than your ego to say that I'm better than everyone else. I don't need to improve myself. We saw that he had a personal trainer training Rocky Balboa. I think he can get back in, but I haven't seen an improvement. So what I'm seeing right now is that, yes, we don't have the right personnel to play, but I think that's been part of his recruitment strategy. So he got the first Onana in, then he got Højlund in, then he got Mason Mount. He's not done yet. In order to move forward, then he has to get rid of these toxic players that don't fit the system. Simple as that, right? That's why he sit down with people, came back from the holidays. He sit down with people to discuss, you're not part of my plan. He told his agents, Scott McTominay, you're free to go. He told the players that don't want to fit his plan because they said, I'm not going to play you. Yeah. I want you to go and find another club so I can recruit the players that fit the way that I want to play. And this is the way I see it, right? So at the moment in this system what he's trying to play now with 6 on front, clearly he's just working with the players that kind of resembles what he wants, but it's not there yet, right? So 10 days left of the transfer window. Can we get a Gravenberch in? Yes, we probably can. Can we get a Amrabat in? Yes, we can. If we get those players in, and also we get like a fit Martial, we also get a integrate.
I mean,
Højlund.
right now, my God, I would take a 𝒖𝒃𝒚.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to say, not to panic, because if we then
take, and I'm not a big fan, but
Yeah.
I would take a 𝒖𝒃𝒚 right now.
the thing is that the media has been saying that Højlund is injured is absolutely not true, because Højlund is not ready to be playing in an Erik Ten Hag system. I dissect what Ten Hag was saying in the press conferences, and he said, you know, no, he's not up to my rules and principles and to the levels to the rest of the team. So for him, it's kind of like an embedded style, like, you know, when you start a new job, like, you know, it takes you 3 weeks to get induction and training,
get your shadowing done.
Shadowing,
orientation. Yeah,
that's orientation day. Like, and the same thing you saw, he did the same with Casemiro, right? It took him 3 games until he was introduced to the bench and the team. So Ten Hag doesn't just throw them in the lines then straight away. So am I the only one seeing it this way, or maybe I don't know? I just see it that way, you know. I'm looking at the solution. I can understand. He's looking at the bench now. This doesn't really fit what I want to do. I want this person now to be sold, and that's it. So I can understand that people are blaming merch and everything else, but it's very fucking hard to sell the players that you didn't buy. You know, there was the Woodward's buy, like, you know, on inflated wages. So I can understand that people want to point fingers and just like slag the manager, slag Mert, or slag everyone. But the only one you should actually slagging is the fucking Glazers that allow this to happen. Honest to God, right? We bought players like on inflated and gave them inflated salaries just to inflate the overall evaluation of the club. Remember, right? And now you have to sort of, now you're struggling to get rid of somebody you bought an average mediocre centre back that nobody really wants. Hell yeah, if you get 30 million for it, just ship him off, right?
You know, this inability for Manchester United to just take the price, just take the money and cut their losses, sort of thing. The fact that they can't do it, it makes me worried about. They must be quite far away from selling the club, and I don't want us to go into a whole Glazers out debate, but they must be quite far away from selling the club, because if they were close to selling the club, these are things that they would want to conclude. Just whatever the cost, just conclude the matters and get rid of these assets that are not going to bring any value anyway, but now they're just contributing to all the issues that are at the club from a football perspective. What is the point? Just get rid of these players. You're selling the club anyway. Get rid of them.
Glazer's ponytail.
Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them. Yeah, no, I saw that one. I'd seen that one.
I'm not going to mention it. Come on, you all read it. You know what I mean.
Yeah, it just worries me. It just really worries. But I just wanted to disagree with one thing that you mentioned about about Højlund. I think he's carrying an injury. I think he's carrying a small injury. It's not what the rival media have tried to spread, to say no, he needs an operation here. I'm like, no. I don't think it's anything like that. But I think he's probably carrying an injury, because I don't think he's the kind of player that's going to need that long to play for Ten Hag. I think he can play, and I think he can learn in the job.
For what I've scouted, for what I've seen, I think this is a very intelligent player. You know, I think he will be adaptable very quick. I think a lot of people will be surprised, because if you look at his trajectory, where he's gone, you know, he played 1 season in Copenhagen, played 1 season in Graz. He's been going like this, right? So I don't think, like, he's got this stamina in like a 6'4" or something, 6'2", 6'3", tall.
He's a unit, man. He's a unit.
He's a unit.
People think he's a small lad. He's not. He's a unit.
He's not.
He's big,
and he's very athletic. So for me, he's very quick.
He can do that. He can do that. And I'm not comparing
so
it to Harry Kane. Don't kill me. But he can do that Harry Kane thing. You know that.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, the system that Ten Hag is building now is including Højlund in that system. That was his first priority, like, you know, over Harry Kane and everything else, according to the interviews, and that's why he's designed it around it. So, yeah, I think when he's ready, you know, I'm sure we're going to be surprised to see another different style of football.
No, guys, comments. We're not hanging our hat on Højlund. We're just saying that him coming into the team will improve the system massively. That's all. That's
what we're saying. Nothing else.
We're not saying he's good. He's not a Van Nistelrooy. We're not saying.
No, because The way
can
that I
defend,
see it,
so
if you're
it's
playing 6 on front, it's not going to depend on the center forward to score all the goals. No, he's going to link up the play. He's going to do all the other things, free up others to score. Like, you know, you're talking about Rashford to score more, Garnacho, Anthony Dos Santos needs to fucking improve his outputs as well. He needs to be more aggressive and take on his player more. Like, you know, not to be this one-trick pony anymore, to cut into the left and do his little trick bender. You know what I mean? So that needs to be
you
changed.
know what? I don't mind his cutting in. He just does it at the wrong time.
Yeah.
For me, it's just his timing is just off. It's off. Like sometimes, I mean, in the Wolves game especially, because I think when you're playing on the wing, for some reason, especially on the right wing, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way I look at the pitch, but for some reason, I feel like right wingers get more opportunity to cut in than left wingers. Now, that's mainly maybe because for me, when I think of centre halves, I think well, the left centre half seems to always be the quicker one, and the right centre half seems to be the solid one who stays. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's just because of how I look at football, but I always think Anthony gets so many opportunities to cut in that he doesn't, and then when the opportunity is not good enough, that's when he tries to do it. And I'm like, no, you know, if he had done it 5 seconds before now, you would have had the best chance to whip this cross or to even curl a shot, because he's good at curling his shots. He's amazing at them. But if you're putting in at the wrong time every time, you won't get those opportunities to curl those shots in.
Jimmy, I agree with you. I actually forgot that Anthony hit the post versus Spurs. You know, like, you know, that's probably like a moment where in training, 8 out of 10 times it's always a goal.
And we had opportunities. We had opportunities to score. Bruno's header. It was just footballing gods. Listen, Mo Hamza here.
With Rashford and Anthony on the wings, I don't see Højlund getting enough service from the wing. Thoughts, Mo? That is, you're like reading what I was about to say, because I was about to be like, when are we going to ever cross to Højlund? Because a cross from the right from Anthony's weaker foot is probably not going to happen anytime soon. We've only seen Wan-Bissaka crossing a few times this season, which is what gives me hope. But
he doesn't rely on crosses too much.
You know, but the other thing with Anthony is like he reminds me of, you know, somebody who's got so many type of different weapons, but he just doesn't know how to use them, because he's got a skill. He can beat a defender. Sometimes he doesn't even know he's beat the defender, and then he starts going back. You're like, you dribbled him. That was a successful dribble.
Yeah, I know.
You have to convert it into an attacking chance for your teammates, you know, and it's almost like it ends up being like he's dribbling to embarrass an opponent, when, you know, it's just the intelligence that is not yet there yet.
He
at
is
this moment.
so fucking gifted, and he doesn't use it. Like, you know, I don't know what's blocking him. That's the thing, right? Well, same thing with Sancho last season. Like, he had the ability, but he didn't have the confidence. Maybe he's afraid to get stick. But all I'm saying is, like, you know, I know there's a player in Dos Santos. All he needs to do is take on his player more often, be more aggressive and direct, right? You know, don't be too predictable to go to the left. Go right, go left. If you look at Garnacho, for instance, still a young player, but he's a very tricky customer, right? He's very unpredictable because always keeps running on the fullbacks. And there's one thing that the fullbacks hate, and it's somebody that keeps running at them, right? Otherwise, you become very predictable. What's the point of stopping, you know, and going backwards? You know, you're a winger. And the thing is that I'm so used to Manchester United being left dominated for the past couple of years.
Nah, this is the best. That is the best comment. Stephanie's comment is the best comment.
Which one?
Everyone just goes inverted wingers, all these modern phrases. A 3-1 build, 3-2. Look, just defend, tackle, pass, cross, shoot, score. Simple. Just play football. Just play.
That's it.
It's just do the basics. It's fine. You'll be all right. Look at Wolves. They played the most basic football you will ever watch in your life, but they outplayed us because they were just efficient. They just did the basics right.
I was watching Palace today. It was also basic footballs. And then you look who is the manager. You know, this guy is almost falling apart. Like, you know, he's going to die on the pitch.
Because he's just telling them to play basic football.
That's it.
None of this, look, everyone wants to use these fancy phrases for football. Hey, listen, inverted or not inverted, if you're shit, you're shit. If you're not playing well, you're not playing well, my friend. I don't care who's telling you to invert that. If you are tonight, you are not playing well. I don't care how many times you inverted. I don't care what you change your name to on the night.
Invert to the better version of yourself.
Listen to the evolution. What's next? Inverted referees.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Goodness gracious, man. It winds me up. It's like, no, just play football. Play the game.
The game has become ridiculous. Don't talk to the hand, right? You're not allowed to talk to me. I'm the referee. What the fuck is this? You're not allowed to talk to the referee. How many yellow cards? Talk to the hand.
What are you talking about? And you know what? It was Bruno is the captain. I thought they've told me that they've changed the rules, so only the captain can talk to the ref. Well, if he talks to you, you don't want to talk to him either. So what the hell? What's he supposed to do?
Yeah, well, he got a yellow card for talking to the referee, and he's the captain. He's supposed to have the dialogue.
He's supposed to talk to the ref.
He goes, like, what?
The rest of the team can't shout at the ref. Bruno should be able to shout at the ref because he's the captain. You've told us. You've given all the power to the captain. The rest of the team needs to shut up. What? The rest of the team shut up. Only Bruno went up. And now you're giving him a card. What are you? What are we doing? What is this?
So we're gonna have somebody in the VAR room, by the way, asked about Bruno's demand to the ref. Guys, I want to hear what your take is on it. Like, you know, he asked if the referees are gonna apologize to Man United for that VAR, for that injustice.
He shouldn't have said that. He knows he shouldn't have said that. He knows he shouldn't have said that.
I mean, but is it not what you want from your captain off the pitch?
No, because you know what? As for me, my fear is that if once he starts a war with referees, we will lose. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's my
worry. Matt's saying
going at the police.
I'm happy. I'm just keeping respect. Like, keep the swear words down because there's kids watching and everything. And
yeah,
I do understand that, right?
There is.
I do understand that you want only one person to speak to you, but I don't want the referees to be the star of the game. That's the thing, and it's turning out that way. I mean, honest to God, if I look at that was a goal scoring opportunity. The ball was going in. Actually, was heading towards Garnacho's shot was going towards goal. And clearly you can see the hand is out. So I have a suggestion, guys. Let's just call it like even Steven. Anything within the 6-yard box touches the hand is a penalty. Let's just make it easy. Don't matter if it's a natural position. Just make it clear. A handball is a handball, right? This is the only solution. Like, and instead of saying, no, it was a natural position. Oh, no. Like, you know, what am I supposed to do, right?
But then you could go into an argument that could increase injuries because people will try and put their arms in very unnatural positions to try and avoid giving penalties away. And then you're getting shoulder injuries, you're getting back injuries because the body can only adjust so much. You know, these players.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Just to quit all these debates about what is a handball or not. Basically, everything within the 6-yard box, only the goalkeeper can touch with the hand. That was the basic rules of football, wasn't it? Right? So anything that you touch inside the 6-yard box, even if you're like accidental, should be actually ruled as a penalty. That's we get rid of all the inconsistent rules. That's just my way of seeing it, right? Now we have this dilly-dallying and debates and clear and obvious and VAR and watching Pornhub instead of watching the game. You know, come on, what's going on here? Right, so Ryan, big up for you, super chat, mate. Angie only coached 2 months and made Spurs play better football than us. I can see what style of football we're trying to play. It's confusing me. Angie could have actually lost the game too, guys, to be honest. Like, you know, if you look at the goal opportunities that we have, even Bruno had the header and openly missed. We are not match sharp. That's 100%. I'm sure that what you saw from Spurs is a one-time wonder. Like, you know, I don't think they're going to do well, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the same. I don't think they're going to play like that against every opponent. I don't think they've got the facilities to keep to consistently play the way they played. They were very, very, very fortunate that we decided to build the way we were building from the back. We were terrible. We were really bad at building play. I mean, we weren't so bad at defensively quite a lot of the times, but when it came to the transition, building up, we were horrific.
Yeah, big up.
Much worse than the Wolves game. So
this is for you, Jarvis. Hang on a second, Jarvis. Jarvis, this is for you. You will love this one. Jeff Buss, Who cares? Saying Højlund doesn't need crosses. He makes things happen by himself.
That's what I was
You
trying
watched-
to say before.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that before.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean but Højlund. He don't need crosses. Yeah, but he's in the build-up. But he needs crosses. You know, he's in the build-up. He plays the ball out to the winger, and then the ball comes in front of the goal. We saw it last season with Weghorst all the time, but he wasn't quick enough to come in front of the goal. So that was the biggest problem. But with Højlund, I think will be a whole different thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
I think he's exaggerated the point he was trying to make. I think for me, the way I would phrase that is that Højlund doesn't need as many crosses as most strikers need, just because he does a lot of. So his link-up play always leads to his own attack. So if you look at, every time he spins a defender, he's a bit like Harry Kane in that sense that when he spins, he wants to be the one that gets to the end of the ball. And that's not what you get with all strikers, because a lot of strikers, if they're in the second, if they're in kind of the phase away from the final phase of attacking play, once they've spun, they actually rely on the ball going to someone else before it comes to them. But when you get strikers like Højlund and Kane who are quick enough on the spin, they want to be the player that gets the ball right after they've just started the link-up play.
Yeah.
So it's a very different way of attacking. I think you'll find that Højlund will probably need less crosses than like a Rashford would need if he was playing as a number 9 or other strikers like that. And it's not the ability in terms of speed of the player. It's actually their ability to, once they've spun, their ability to get away from the defender without the defender realizing what's happening. And that takes a very specific skill set that I don't think many strikers possess.
Yeah,
guys, I haven't seen a cross in Man United. I don't know what crosses you guys are talking about, because like last cross was David Beckham. He's the last person. Or Nani. No, seriously,
Nani was
guys, we had Cavani. We had, you know how good Cavani is in the air. We had Ronaldo after he just did a big jump in Juventus, and then we never crossed to Ronaldo in the air, or rarely. I just don't. I always see the moments when we crossed are not really well thought out. In the Spurs game, I remember being so stressed out in the watch along when the 2 targets in the box was Christian Eriksen and Jadon Sancho, and we decided to cross a ball. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
Give me that horn. Wake me up before you go. You too, FR. I agree with you. Let's not to put much pressure on this kid.
I agree with that.
United social media would absolutely crucify, and this is what I hate. I mean, this is our fan base that one day they love you, one day they hate you, and one day they call you trash, and next day they praise you. Like, just there's no consistency.
Yeah, but I thought it was just us, but I've seen it from everyone now.
Everyone,
all other fan bases. I think it's just football fans in general, to be fair. So I think
Lucky Singh is saying 100% the Australian officials were really good in the World Cup, in the Women's World Cup. I agree with you. It's just that
old officials,
listen, now then the club has come up with an announcement. That means that we are out with another striker, right? So that opens up the door for another recruit, the way I see it. And we've been mentioning a kid that scored yesterday in Brazil that plays for Santos. And we're talking about Marcos Leonardo, a young striker, 20 years of age. If that opens up the door for Marcos Leonardo, I'm all in for it. He's been linked to us before. He's been linked to us. We did a special scouting report on him. He was supposed to join Roma, but some reason he turned it down. He's not going to Roma anymore. So with the links of Greenwood going away, this kid is kind of like a combination between, let me say, a Martial and a Rashford, Martial and Greenwood in one package. Still young, raw talent. Scores tons of goals. He's only 20 years of age. I know it's young, but what options do we have now? There's no value on the market at the moment.
I don't know much about him, so I can't really comment on him. I've never watched him.
He's going to be.
Watched him. I think I've watched a few clips after I heard his name flying around, but I've never watched him.
This guy is one for the future, but he's going to be. If we snap this kid up right now, I mean, you have a £200 million striker in a couple of years' time, 100%. That's the way I see it, right? And that's coming from the grassroots leagues, though. So how do we move on from here? That's my big question. I mean, we are lacking on. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, if Greenwood would have stayed, we'd be okay. We will have that extra striker from the bench. Now that option is gone, and the youth is not good enough. We don't have Will Fish or whatever they named it. They're not good enough. Like Hugo, you know what I mean? So where is that coming from then? Does that mean that we are putting all the weights on Højlund's shoulder, which I don't want either? Like, how do you see it? Like, will it be Martial, who can hardly stay fit? Or do you think that we are in for a surprise for another recruit after this departure of Greenwood?
Nope, not from me. I can't see it. I can't see much business happening. I think we've exhausted. Obviously, I don't think the goalkeeper was a priority for these guys, the recruitment guys. I think they thought that they were going to get De Gea to agree to whatever they wanted him to agree to. I think they thought it was going to be straightforward, and it didn't turn out to be. So they've now had to go out and get a goalkeeper, and I think that's affected maybe some of the other positions that they were happy to consider. But I don't see how we can even maneuver a loan deal for another striker. So that's never going to happen.
Peter, don't stop trolling me, man. Buy Lukaku again. Come on, get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
Don't get me triggered. I've already been triggered once today. Come on, man. No Lukaku. No, thank you. We just got rid of him. He did a disaster. Chelsea did a disaster. Inter. Where he's going to end up playing, guys? He's going to Juventus.
Who, Lukaku?
Yeah,
if they accept him.
I think that, but I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can afford to have him. To be honest, I mean, he wants to. He would love to go there because he loves that league, doesn't he? He really enjoys that league. I don't know why. I mean,
listen.
I don't know why. I don't know
this
why.
Marcus
It's not like
Leonardo
he
is
played
very.
all the time anyway. He didn't play every game. He didn't start every game.
This Marcus Leonardo is very special. So if we get him, I'll be excited, right? I like this. South American Brazilian. This guy, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know him. Don't know him at all. So I can't
check him out. Check him out.
I thought you were talking about Santiago Jimenez. That's but Marcos Leonardo will do our duties. We'll check him out. Yeah.
Okay,
he reminds me of Aguero.
I want this
Amrabat
deal to get done. It need that.
Get Amrabat. And we have another suggestion from Matt here to say, give Ollie a call and see what he's up to. Hello, Ole. Hvordan går det?
People, I swear, people try to trigger me every day, man.
It's time to close the shop. But anyway, VR room, if you have any suggestions, Jarvis, what do you think?
Get your last questions in, because now I'm going to present the FPL league for the season, for the game week 2.
Oh, no, please don't do that.
Quickly through to it. We have here the slide of top 10. And Beard with a Purpose is the leader, and it's 𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒊𝒔𝒕 who's the manager. Number 2 is Red Devil with Mateusz Radomski.
Oh, he went one down. Cool.
Yeah. And number 3 is Tora Blue or Pes, Ronny Strømseth. And we have J. Daly in number 5, Dallas Cowboys. And you can see Peace, Love, and Bananas with Jarvis Cocker is number 12. So I'm in the race, but I'm not quite in the race at the moment. And here we see... I'm just going to find the next slide I have here. It's this is the team for the leader, Beard with a Purpose, 𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒊𝒔𝒕, and you can see his team. He has Ederson in goal.
That is a team.
Dubian, 11, Saliba, Botman, Saka, Almiron, Mitoma, 12 points, Mbeumo, 16 points, Salah, Haaland captain. Well, it didn't work out, but at least he had Mbeumo and Watkins. So he had a good round. So Beard with the Purpose is the leader of the league. And for people, now we have 70 teams in our league. So if anyone want to join the league, I'm just gonna put out the league code. It's right here Oh, no, I can't share. I have too many slides. Okay. So it's 𝑃𝒄𝒌. No. Mick, help me out.
Write it on the chat. Hold on.
Wait,
I have.
give me. I'm doing all right.
Guys, if in between, smash the like on the stream if you haven't done so yet. We've been lazy here. But you know what? Everyone's been chilled today.
Okay.
Please, if you don't mind, just smash the like button because it sure helps the algorithm. Stephanie Griffith saying we have 48 likes, and there's how many of us watching at the moment? Yeah, I think it's about 100 people watching right now.
I have the code.
You have the code.
𝒊𝒄𝒌
Wait, let me write it down. What is it?
𝒊𝒄𝒌
𝒊𝒄𝒌.
Yes.
It's Pappi, 𝒊𝒄𝒌 0.
Jarvis, understand 0.
Big up to all of you guys.
Not all lowercase.
So wait a minute. Who is last then?
Oh, last place.
Did I get up
Who's
the
in the
doghouse?
relegation zone?
Am I out the doghouse?
Oh, you don't want to know. Papa, do you know who's last?
It must be me, huh?
Is it Pappi?
Okay, it takes time to scroll down. You know, it's a long way down to the last place.
Oh Lord, you gotta accept cookies. Do not. I don't think we need to announce who's last. Big up to Uncle Beard. Who's number 1? Let's just focus on number 1.
Football Power Hour, Botswana Papi.
I ain't joining this league. If I join, I'm gonna be bottom of the table, so I don't want to join. I ain't joining.
I was last weekend.
I'm just looking now.
Mick,
Now
you're
I'm
number
gonna
64.
be like fourth from bottom now. We're not doing.
Oh, I'm 64. I'm in relegation.
I'm some Allardyce right now. Don't worry. We go again next week, boys. You know,
I feel Standish is number 58, so the percentages are not doing well.
We go.
All right, I'm just learning. This is the first time I played this. I never played it before.
Same. I think I only touched it once and then I forgot about it. But I'm
first time I just did an auto pick team, and there was like the random shit.
Who's this person at the top? Who's Beard?
Uncle Beard. What's his name again? Let's shout him out one more time, Jarvis.
Yeah, I have the slide here. Where is it?
Oh, there it is. All right. Beard with a purpose. Big up to you, Beard with a purpose. Shout out to you.
Ooh, that is.
How do you do it?
That is a team, man.
That is a team. Yeah, that is a team. Okay, fantastic. Well, we see how we go next weekend because the deadline is to do your. Is it Friday to change the team, right?
Yeah, it's 1 hour before the first game in the next round.
Yeah, everyone has joined the league. Jonathan Liljenberg has joined the team. I can see. Pappi, we need to have a private session with the leader as well. Or should we call Sam Allardyce, or because he got to get up. or Sean Dyche.
Oh, we go get you, man. Don't worry.
Let's hire Sean Dyche to get us out of the relegation. Guys, I'm absolutely knackered now. So
yeah, same man. I need to retire. Kids will be up early, man, because they're on holiday, and somehow when they're on holiday, they seem to wake up earlier than.
So in conclusion, we dusted out all the negativity. We spoke about the Greenwood situation. We got it over the line. We looked at the situation with the team, the formation, the fixable, and hopefully we'll have a solution, but at the end of the day, it's down to Erik Ten Hag and what he does. But anyway, it's been fun, people, please.
It's been fun. It's been really good, man. Really good. Really good.
100%, something unusual. Listen, like the video, like what Matt says, everyone is off to bed. It's late. It's been a long day. It's been very emotional. Thank you, Uncle Jimmy, again for coming in. I hope to see you next Monday again.
Yeah, man.
Pappi, thank you for standing in as well. You're always welcome. We will see you very soon again.
Always.
It's been a tough day for everyone.
Now, bless all the listeners as well, man. Bless all the comments.
Make sure you go to follow Football Power Hour as well to subscribe to his channel as well.
Thank you to Stephanie also for mentioning that in the chat, and let's support each other, guys. Everybody, if you're watching right now, hit the like button. It doesn't matter which channel you're watching on. Hit the like button and subscribe. Big up, guys.
Bless, man. Big up, guys. Good night.
Okay, peace, love, and go banana. But we say right now, peace, love. Thank God we have Onana, right? See you guys. Good night. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.